You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, presented by the Nation Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Oilersnation Radio, episode 18. Been a couple of weeks since we talked to you. Everybody's had a nice Christmas break. To my left, I'm sitting with Nation Dan. Across from me is Chris the intern. And in Cam's spot is Rick. Where's Cam? We killed him.
We don't know where Cam is.
Where is Cam?
Cam is gallivanting.
Cam was supposed to be back from Vegas a week ago, and we haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, Cam was supposed to be back from Vegas. He said he was changing his flight. We haven't heard from him since. Are we worried? No.
Who does 2 weeks in Vegas? I feel like you have to be at least 50 to do 2 weeks in Vegas. Like a young guy like him, he should be upside down in a pool somewhere by now. And I've seen him have a couple of drinks, so yeah, no, he should definitely be
I don't know, but he has
right
a weird way of just powering through it all.
Not 2 weeks worth, though.
Yeah, 2 weeks in Vegas is a lot.
First of all, how much do you guys pay the kid? Because guys pay a double price down there for drinks because the lady's drinking free.
Yep. I know he went down there to see his missus. He says he was with the family, but I don't know about that. We've got some investigating to do when Cam gets back because there's some shenanigans.
We have a lot of theories going on.
We have a big old interrogation episode coming up next week.
Oh yeah, we're going to be grilling Cam on why he spent 2 weeks in Vegas. I did a week once, and I was just, by the time we left, I had to go.
See, that's exactly what I mean.
Too much.
It's too much.
Speaking of grilling, congratulations to Eric Gryba for getting grilling with Gryba.
Grilling with Gryba on Wild TV.
There you go.
Former Edmonton Oiler /
buyout
Alex Petrovic clone.
He's obviously
we'll get to that in a minute.
He's doing great things with his buyout money, so that's great. Happy for him.
Yeah, why not? Getting paid to do a little bit of grilling. RIP to all the animals in his general vicinity.
I hope you're taking his advice though, because everything he's doing looks really, really good.
Looks great. Fantastic.
Like I need to get myself a Traeger smoker right now.
Oh man, that smoker. Get out of here. As always, Oilers Nation Radio is brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant.
Grilling with Gryba.
Out in Sherwood Park, Alberta. Follow them on Twitter at Sherwood Ford and on Instagram at Sherwood Ford _the Giant. Again, Sherwood Ford. We are looking for some 1987 Ford Escort GTs for the boys.
Oof.
For the boys. I know the Nation truck is sexy. I know it's beautiful. I know when it's driving down the street that I can see it from a mile away, and I like that. However, just imagine 7 of us cruising around 1987 Ford Escort GTs.
Like, do you want to go quality or quantity? And I'm pushing for quantity right now.
Quantity, all day.
Those were quality for the record. Those were quality.
Vehicles are still quality.
All right.
100%.
Then we'll go with both.
Think of how great it would be if 7 of us are ripping around all over Alberta in these things.
Yes.
You know you want that, Sherwood Ford.
Gonna need some mixtapes.
Park them all.
Need some mixtapes for those.
Oh, yeah. Mixtapes. We're going to have to I'm going to have to figure out how to transfer some of my MP3s to cassette tapes so that they work in my 1987 Ford Escort GT.
You have to go MP3 to CD to A-track and then back to tape.
Well, the old Discman had the old plug-in, right? So it had that cassette.
Yes.
Yeah, so if we can get 7 of those with them, we're all good.
All right.
Some kind of radio transmitter. I used to work at a Radio Shack once upon a time, Dan, and we used to sell radio transmitters.
Yes.
That would get the job done. We're going to need to find some of those, maybe on eBay.
Do you guys remember the tapes that used to have the cord that would come out of them that you could connect?
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. That's exactly what we mean. Yeah.
All right. We're on the same page.
Back to business. 1987 Ford Escort GT. Okay. Since it's New Year's, I figured we would start off today's podcast by coming up with some New Year's resolutions for the Edmonton Oilers. They won their first game of the year against the Arizona Coyotes. Coyotes are terrible. Thank you to Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid for making that happen. So I thought it'd be interesting to just come up with some ideas of what we are looking for in the next calendar year. New Year's resolutions, some ideas, some thoughts, some hopes, some dreams, some things that they should never do again. Dan, do you have an idea?
Well, I mean, the obvious one is secondary scoring. I think we can all just say that that's a thing we need.
We're gonna get into that a bit.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But my New Year's resolution for the Edmonton Oilers would be some more confidence for the 2 goalies that we have. More confidence from the fans or for themselves? I guess both. It's a two-parter because I would like to see the fans relax on riding the highs and lows.
Wrong city.
And
good luck.
And then I would like to see Talbot and Koskinen level out a little bit when it comes to their highs and lows, because when they're doing well, we're doing well, and when they're not, we're not.
I just want to piggyback on that real quick. I do a New Year's article every year for ON, and in my New Year's resolutions in the article, I said you will support the goaltenders with adequate defensive zone coverage.
Well, that's I guess it's a threefold resolution because the defense also has to be a part of this. Because, man, was there some games over that 6-game stretch where I was losing it on Twitter. I'm sure I lost 20 followers because of it, but people just railing on Talbot or Koskinen for their effort, and it's like, well, you got Patrick Laine just sitting in front of the net for 5-6 seconds. That's a tough save.
Can you really blame our defense right now because all of them are out of their comfort zone right now?
Yes.
And Patrick Laine is one of the best players in the NHL. Can you blame a guy like Adam Larson for not getting to his coverage spot quick enough?
Arguably, I would say that our defense has been playing above its head for a lot of the time with Peter Chiarelli as the GM.
When did Pronger leave exactly?
Yes, but so I don't know if I give them that pass. They should be fine by now. But yes, we've been out without a couple defensemen.
I was at the game against Vancouver last Thursday, and I tweeted out after Koskinen let in 4 goals on 6 shots. I was like, could you imagine what would happen if Talbot did that right now? And people, my mentions were a nightmare. Good thing I was so drunk that it didn't really matter, and I didn't read them till the next day. But that was a thing. That was a whole thing. Chris, you got any New Year's resolutions for the Edmonton Oilers?
Well, Dan said the obvious choice is depth scoring. I think the obvious choice that I'm surprised you didn't kick off first was in getting a new general manager.
New management team.
So that's kind of a New Year's resolution for Daryl Cates, Bob Nicholson, whoever makes that call.
Frankly, I would say Bob Nicholson should go as well, but that's just me. Go ahead.
But anyways, to go with a not so common answer, my New Year's resolution goes towards Oilers fans, and that's just to try and make Twitter a happier place. And it's I know that's asking for a lot.
You said good luck to mine about being nice to goaltenders, but now you want Twitter to be a happier place?
The thing is, the Christmas break was so depressing. Like you said, Begnock, we tried to avoid it over the break and just get some distance from online presence. But it's just, I can't blame fans for being angry, but it's just a terrible place to go to. It's just depressing and it makes me upset. And it all comes down, it's Chiarelli's fault. I don't blame fans for being angry because they're angry at him.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you like it does me that there are still people out there that are saying Chiarelli's doing a good job?
No, you're going to get there's some trolls mixed in there. There was some...
Well,
but are they trolling or do they believe it?
Some people actually believe it. Some people are actually sitting there trying to defend the guy and defend the moves. And we win 2 games in a row and whoop, guess we have a really bad GM, don't we, guys?
I think it's one of those things. We've talked about it before upstairs, not so much on the podcast, but it's one of those things where as a fan, you're stuck with this team. And so it's one thing to just be frustrated by everything they do, and it's another thing to just try and find the happier side of a Petrovic trade for a 3rd round draft pick. I don't know. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Chiarelli is a good GM or anything, but I get it that they're just trying to make being a fan, I don't know.
For most people, though, I think they're pretty positive during the 60 minutes of the game. Puck drop to buzzer. They're just as good fans as anybody out there. It's away from the game is when people start to have their issues. They sit back there, they rewatch the game, they look at the mistakes, they look at the holes in the team, they look at absolutely everything. This is Edmonton. That's what we do. We've been doing it for years. We've done it for everybody. So I don't really hate on people too much for hating it. I do not like the people that boo. The jersey throwers, I want them to disappear forever. During the game, you have to be a fan. You got to be a good fan. That's what we're there for. Away from the game, then you can bring out your negativity or your criticisms.
Well, and that's also saying that 75% of Oiler fans, well, I don't know if a lot of Oiler fans don't even play hockey and don't even know what it's like to be on the ice.
Some of the loud ones. Some of the guys who've never
been the loudest ones, yeah. So, I mean, everyone has an opinion even though they can't justify it.
I know what it's like to be an NHL player.
Rick, do you have a New Year's resolution for the team?
If we're going to see, Chris took the easy one there. So let's go ahead and go to the forwards here. We need some wingers to help these 3 incredible centermen we have. We have the best player in the league
Amen.
We have another all-star right there who does not really get all the credit he should because he is in the shadow of Connor. And then we have little Nuge, who's been we've been blessed with for the last 4 or 5 years now. And yeah, he needs a little support. He's been out there playing against guys twice his size since he's 18 years old. Now he's grown in his body. Now he's becoming a man. He needs some extra support out there, and he will now turn into exactly what we thought he would always be.
I like that.
Yeah.
We'll get some
Couldn't have said
wingers.
it better myself.
You can always talk about Nuge. You can talk about Nuge all you want.
Will we find, though, do you think we'll find the winger help from within the organization maybe?
A little bit, but it's going to take some time. We don't have that time. They have to go out, and I'm going to say it right now, use a lottery protected first round pick and go get your goddamn winger right now. Move them. Go.
Oh man, does everyone around this table agree that you'd give up the first pick?
If it's lottery protected.
Lottery protected, yeah.
I've been saying it for years.
Hell
I think it's a really good move just for the organization to not be able to have that fallback. To be like, yeah, but we're still going to get a 7th overall pick because we missed the playoffs.
Yeah, lottery protected.
Yeah,
I agree.
Kind of stuff.
Send it out.
Especially if he gets us, if we make that trade right now, we get into the playoffs. Now we're talking like a 14, 15 at best pick. What are we going to do with that? We've done it once with Jordan Eberle. Thanks a lot, Jordan. But after that, we're not guaranteed to have a great pick. You know, we've missed on some. Some guys get missed in the mid rounds. Take the chance, make the playoffs. Who knows what happens?
Just some get traded for Griffin Reinhart.
Do something.
Or, hear me out, boys. William Nylander, $6.9 million, 1 goal. Milan Lucic, $6 million, 1 goal. Huh? 1 for 1. Straight
That's
across.
fair.
We're taking on Cap. We're taking on Cap.
Hey,
Nylander only has 1 goal.
I think we'll do that for him.
I mean,
I think
to
we can
be
do that for the Leafs.
Austin needs a protection.
I would like to see the Leafs get some protection there and have a little bit of truculence.
They need some swagger. You know what? The other 30 teams in the league could use a little bit of swagger. That's all I'm saying.
Seattle? You can make a trade right
I don't
now.
want to wait that far.
No, that's fair.
I don't want to wait that.
Fair.
Actually, you know what? Trade him to Seattle. Let him think about it for the next 2 years.
It's right next to his hometown.
By then you get that free buyout and whatever, he's out the door.
But that's the problem though, is you got to wait 2 years for that free buyout and just be like,
well, if he goes to Seattle, we're waiting 2 years. But yeah, no, I figure something out.
I think we can all agree that the game is turning towards where you need a big tough guy. So I think the team should anticipate this.
What was your resolution for?
This one's kind of on the fans a little bit as well, but also on the media. And I think it's going to be very important in 2019 that people do not treat the best players on the team as whipping boys for a lack of success.
Oh, you mean the top 3 need to produce more?
Depth matters, as we've seen this year. If you do not have it, you can have 3 studs up front and it doesn't mean shit. It does not mean shit. And I'm asking people in the media to look at this roster and be like, stop it. Draisaitl's not the problem. Connor's not the problem for sure. Nuge is not the problem. And I also hate the shit where it's like, well, Nuge isn't producing on the second line as much. Man, he started the game with Lucic on his left wing.
Fucking wingers are.
Like, come on. Be better. Be better.
It's amazing that those 3 guys are having career years when we are arguably worse than we were last year.
We would be nowhere.
Yeah.
We would be nowhere in the standings if it wasn't for those 3 guys.
We're going to talk about some numbers for those 3 guys and just how important they are to this team. That's really going to to me, when I look at the numbers, because I did a What Would You Do Wednesday, Friday edition this morning talking about secondary scoring, when you actually break down the percentage of goals produced by 3 guys on a 23-man roster, it's crazy. It is crazy. But first, I want to thank our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. They're fantastic people. They have fantastic vehicles, and they have fantastic social media that you should follow. At Sherwood Ford on Twitter, at Sherwood Ford _the Giant on Instagram. Brighten your timeline with a brand new Ford or your driveway, Chris.
Yeah. Don't forget that if you see the Nation truck on the road, snap a pic of it, post it online, tag Nation truck, tag us in Sherwood Ford. And you can enter to win a gas card, $100.
$100 gas card. That's a good start.
And gas is like 85 cents right now, so you can get a lot of gas.
That's like 2 tanks right now.
Hey, man.
That's
2 tanks of
impressive.
free gas.
Woo.
Head on out. Find the Squire. Find Jay. Wherever he's at. I mean, he's not on the continent right now, so Graham's got the truck. So go out and find Graham.
Yeah.
Why did we fly the nation truck with him to Australia?
He would not have come back because it's such a long flight.
That is true. I've heard that.
Sherwood Ford, just think of how many pictures we'll get in these contests when there's 7. I repeat, 7 1987 Ford Escort GTs ripping around the city with both our logos on them.
We're just saying, think about it.
Think about it. Boys, over the break, there was a couple of trades that Shirelli made. It was last Sunday, I believe. Yes. And 2 very different trades, in my opinion. The first one that came down earlier in the day was Weidman and a conditional 3rd round pick to Florida in exchange for Alex Petrovic.
Oh, that's really good.
Thank you. I heard that they were pronouncing it that way on the broadcast the other day. I want to go Petrovic today.
All right.
I like it. In the 2 games played so far, Petro has averaged 21-13 with the Oilers. 1 shot, 10 hits. If you're a fancy stats guy, you might want to earmuffs right now because he has got a 29.1% Corsi. That is not ideal. However, again, he's batting above his weight class. What did you guys think of the Petrovic trade to start? Dan, I'll start with you. What do you think?
I didn't mind it. I guess I felt like the 3rd round pick was probably unnecessary, but I guess at the same time, Weidman is not that much of a piece there. So
certainly not going to play for Hitchcock.
No, but I didn't mind the Petrovic pickup. It was the one later that had me rattled.
Oh, and we'll get there. Rick, what do you think about the Petrovic trade?
Oh, I thought it was fine. I'm sitting right there with Dan. I can see where his value is going to come in there. He's going to take a little bit of heat off of Larson, a little heat off of Benning. I know Russell was down. Is he back yet?
Allegedly, he should be like any day.
Yeah, that's what he told us like 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
I kind of understand it. Yeah, that draft pick is a little bit high. We do have 2 thirds at one. It is the better of the whatever. Of course. What do we do with the draft picks anyways? Whatever. I can see what they're doing there. I see what they're trying to do. I'm fine with that one.
What are they trying to do? Giving away that draft pick?
No, you're just trying to bring in a guy to stopgap the massive bleeding going on the defensive side right now.
You're also trying to make less mistakes in the draft by having less picks.
Yeah.
Yep, that's important. True. That's a good point.
You can't trade away draft picks if you don't have them.
Chris, your thoughts on the Petrovic trade?
I thought it was a pretty lateral move. Weidman wasn't getting played by Hitchcock anyways for whatever reason. So Petrovic will come in, see if he can prove any different than Weidman. So, I mean, fine by me. It's a little scary for me with the 3rd round pick. I don't know if it's a sign of things to come. Is Charlie just going to start selling things off?
Whose pick was it again?
Well, the Oilers have 2, so they've got, that's the Davey pick that they got from the Islanders. So it's the Oilers. The condition is the Oilers or the Islanders pick.
It'll be a mid-3rd rounder.
Yeah, whichever one is higher. Which I don't know. Which Shirelli always goes that kind of stuff. It's like, well, whichever one is higher. I don't care. You get what you want. It doesn't make sense to me. But back to the trade. Maybe the 3rd is a little bit high just because Petrovic's a UFA at the end of the year. But again, like all of you have said, we're all in agreement. So this is just over the pants handies all around. I get what they were trying to do. It makes sense. It's funny that he's a local guy that's big and tough. So that always makes me laugh when those guys come back because Gord knows how we love grit.
And the UFA sitting, like the fact he's unrestricted at the end of the year is fine. You get to wash your hands with him at the end of the year if you want to move on. If your young guys are ready, because we do have a couple guys that are coming up and we're hoping they're going to be ready for next year. You're not 100%. So
a guy like Bush.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Caleb Jones is right now our best defenseman.
Oh, we're going to talk about Caleb Jones too, because he's been great. But first, we have to get to the second trade of the same day where Peter Shirelli, man, this one blew my mind. When I saw Mark Spector tweet, "This is what I'm hearing the Oilers are working on," I'm like, wait a minute. Did he really just say Brandon Manning? So then I go to the Google machine, Chris.
You're like, it couldn't get any worse than this, right?
I was like, there has to be a different Brandon Manning out there. There has to be 2. I mean, it's kind of a unique name, but also kind of common. I don't know. Drake Caggiula and Jason Garrison to the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for Brandon Manning.
And some
dude who's not going to play.
Who none of us know his name.
Thomas Noel.
Okay. Thanks.
Noel, like Christmas?
Yeah, no, I think it was Noel.
That was my joke.
Something like that.
That's cool. Okay. Yeah. So things just got brighter.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Shout out to the guy we'll never see.
That Noel.
Anyway, Brandon Manning. I want to start this one off because this one blew my mind. This one blew my mind clear through my skull. First of all, I will never forget, ever,
or forgive
what happened in Connor's rookie season. And I know that he'll say he didn't do it on purpose, though he said on the ice like the next year that he kind of did or whatever. We're going to get past that. Was there not a third pairing defenseman anywhere else in the league that you could have acquired instead of this guy? And sure, I know Cirelli said that apparently they've been scouting this guy for 12 months because he asked Connor if it'd be cool if he traded for him last year from Philly.
That's even more depressing.
That's crazy to me. I don't understand it. Of all the third pairing defensemen you could get, you get the one who broke Connor's collarbone. And yes, okay, they were past it. Well, at least that's what Connor says publicly. But they also traded Drake Caggiula, who was at the time the Oilers' 5th leading scorer in goals.
Which wasn't even that many goals.
Yeah, still would be. Right? Yeah. Good point, Dan. Connor's close friend on the team. I don't understand this move. What do you guys think? Rick, I'll start with you.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Like, this should have been done, and Nicholson should have got on the phone or got on the Skype machine and said, okay, go home. Like, you're done. Thank you for everything very much. Move on. You're done. We're bringing on salary. We somehow took on we don't have cap space. We took on salary somehow.
Yeah.
He has a year next year. So once again, like I just said, the fact that Petrovic's a UFA was a good thing because you could wash your hands with him at the end of the year.
Yep.
So now all of a sudden we have this guy at the end of the year too. So next year when we're going to go with Clefbaum, Nurse, and Caleb Jones on the left.
And you'll still have Russell. You'll have...
Yeah, well, you can put Russell on the right with, then you have Bush and you have Larson and you have Russell and you have maybe Petrovic. So now you got a $2.25 million at best number 7 defenseman.
And the worst part about it was everybody out of Chicago, when that trade goes through, is like, holy shit, I can't believe they got rid of Manning.
Look, if you wanted a defenseman like that, I know everybody understands that I've got a love for my man number 88, but he was straight up put on waivers 2 days ago. If you brought him in, that's fine. $650,000. You're telling me that Brandon Manning is $1.8 million better than he is? No. And how the hell do you throw in Drake Caggiula?
How do you lose a Drake Caggiula trade?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I think everyone's underrated. I don't know why everybody hates on him so much. 1.5 for the amount of goals he has right now. He was going to be on pace for 15, 16, 17 goals, somewhere in there. And that's fine at 1.5. He goes out there, he bangs, crashes, he can skate with Connor. Connor likes him off the ice. Like, I didn't see anything out there that was so bad besides like his fancy stats. And yeah, find me some guys on this team outside the 3 big ones that have good fancy stats.
Yeah, and there's the other angle too, is they had Kevin Gravel there, who is... Are you telling me that Brandon Manning is better than Kevin Gravel? I know Gregor wrote about it the day after the trade. Their numbers are almost identical in terms of fancies. However, the goals against for Gravel was significantly better, and Manning was a healthy scratch 10 times in Chicago, who is terrible. Terrible.
So I went on a spirit journey that night as a result of these ridiculous trades.
Oh yeah, I saw you were drinking Crown.
I was.
Was that straight Crown?
Me and Crown straight. With a little bit of ice. I'll say there was a little bit of ice.
Lord.
Cool. A little bit of water there. But I think there's some positives we're missing here, boys. So he's been scouting Brandon Manning. He's been scouting Brandon Manning for over a year. And he did not get into a bidding war with Chicago over his rights. We could have Brandon.
Are we sure
Manning,
about that?
We could have Brandon Manning at a higher price point than he is right now.
Oh, in terms of UFA.
Yeah, if we had signed him as a UFA in the offseason instead,
what was his contract in Philly? Would it have been cheaper if we got him out of Philly?
I think
Probably.
So.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think so.
How do you sit there and have that? How do you pay this guy? Who signs his check every 2 weeks and says, "Yep, you're doing a good job. Give it to him."
I don't understand. And like after when he spoke to the media, Cirelli looked like he hadn't slept in months.
Oh, probably.
And to me, that's like, I know the dangers of driving without proper sleep. I assume trading. Actually, I know trading with no sleep is also just as dangerous. Anyway, Dan, go back to your spirit quest.
And then the second thing is, and here's another positive for us, is that I think Cirelli may be gearing himself up for the new or the possibly vacated position of GM in Chicago. He's trying to loosen up his opposition.
Well, he should have just thrown himself in the trade then.
Yep. Well, I would have loved that trade.
I have traded myself.
Arguably, I think he's gone now. So, hey.
He's not gone positives. Yet, and we're still sitting here with a first-round pick that we've all decided we should move, a lottery-protected first-round pick. Who's making that decision? That's terrifying.
And this is at a point where everyone in the organization is pissed at him to begin with. And then he goes out and acquires the one guy in the entire NHL that you cannot bring on your team.
There was all kinds of media, to your point, Chris, there was all kinds of media guys going like, all right, I get why he's trading for defensemen, but this specific defenseman?
Exactly. And I don't care if Connor McDavid patch things up with him. If you're Milan Lucic or anybody in the roster that's not McDavid and you see Manning walk through those doors, I'll never forget what he did. And you guys remember the chirps that they had on the ice. And
sure. I remember the Pat Maroon fight that in the first game.
Yep.
I wouldn't be able to put that past me. Yeah.
It's how can people look at this body of work? Here, put it another way. The only person that has been wrong as much as Peter Chiarelli and still gets to keep his job is a weatherman.
Donald Trump also?
Well, that's a whole different ball. Okay. That is a whole different
there's
ball
many
of
people.
wax. Old Donald is having himself a fine time down there. And by fine, I mean awful. Anyways, back to Manning. One thing I want to ask you guys about is I think we're all in agreement that the trade doesn't make any sense. We don't understand why this specific player was acquired. We don't understand why Peter Chiarelli is still allowed to make deals in general. Before I continue on, no bigger point than when Spector said that same day, I heard Peter Chiarelli try to include Ryan Spooner in these trades, and it didn't work. We're talking about fucking 45 days after he traded Ryan Strome for Ryan Spooner. He's trying to move on already. This is the guy that we really want to, quote unquote, improve this hockey team. It doesn't make sense.
His plan is garbage. Move on. Get somebody else. Let Keith Gretzky take over. Let Craig McTavish go. Let Kevin Lowe take over. Hell, hire the four of us. We will do it as a team. We will not make one decision unless we are 4-0 voting it.
We would make lots of Twitter polls, include everyone's opinion.
Make this happen. GMing via Twitter poll.
Honestly, I feel like it would do a better job because if you go out to Oilers fans right now and be like, should I trade Drake Caggiula for Brendan Manning? And everybody's like, what the fuck? Are you crazy?
The problem with that is that there's 30 other teams that their fans would come in.
Only Oiler fans get his side.
Yeah.
We'll have a little chat group or something.
Yes.
I understand people that thought maybe Drake was a little bit overpaid, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Okay. He was on pace for 20 goals. The Oilers are not scoring goals. And they are trading this guy. So when Gregor in this press conference says, well, Pete, who's gonna score goals? And he's like, and it's just
Pete was pissed when he saw that coming.
I loved it because that told me specifically that Peter Chiarelli wrote this just hit job carve piece that Gregor wrote on The Nation that morning because he was ready for the Kevin Gravel question right out the gate. He knew it was coming.
First two words out of his face, he knew this is, okay, here we go. We're in it. Okay. Oh.
And I love that his excuse for why Manning over Gravel is he's meaner. As if meanness is what is holding this team back right now.
Well, we were talking about that before we started recording. Is Brand Manning just going to try to do everything possible to make up to the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid?
Oh, that's a hell of a segue, Chris. Hell of a segue.
Thanks.
So I want to know, in your guys' opinion, what can Brandon Manning do to not only win over the fans, but more importantly, win over his new pal, Connor? So right now, the Oilers are on the road, a 4-game road trip. Just finished up in Arizona. They're in LA for tomorrow. Rick, what do you think's going on over there?
He's definitely getting him breakfast. He's making his bed, probably carrying his suitcase around, getting some dry cleaning done if that's needed. But on the ice, he's going to go play. He's going to do everything that you should pay a guy, I don't know, say $6 million-ish.
6 over 7?
Yeah. Everything he's supposed to do, that's what he's going to go do.
I assume that as we're recording, it is noon here in the capital region. I assume that at 9 a.m., 8 a.m., Connor had a text on his phone. Hey, man, I'm heading down the buffet. You want me to bring you up some breakfast? Some eggs, pancakes, waffles? What do you think? Coffee? Mrs. need anything? I know the ladies are down there. Maybe she needs something.
He's like, oh, I noticed you put the room service plates just outside your door of the hotel room. I did you a favor, took those down for you.
I also did you a favor and I went down to the front desk and said, anything you put on your tab is now my tab. I am also going to give you my daily, what is that called?
Stipend.
My daily stipend for any meals or whatever you need. You can have mine.
Bring him the daily newspaper, maybe.
Even read it to him.
Oh, that's nice.
Connor, you go out and you maybe have a nice tub. Connor's having a tub, so Brandon Manning's opening the paper. He's reading the Daily News.
Can you imagine if Brandon Manning started doing media appearances for Connor?
Oh, and Connor's just standing like slightly behind him.
As the representation of Connor McDavid, this is what we feel.
The advocate of Connor McDavid.
Ooh, that's a good one.
What do you think Brandon Manning needs to do to win over the fans, Dan?
For me, it's he can't. I don't know. It's going to take somebody else greasing Connor. Never made that happen. And Manning being the one that Patrick maroons him.
To be fair, anybody on the team, if anybody does anything stupid to any of our players and Manning gets involved, then we're going to sit there and get by. But at the end of the day, it's not worth everything that's paid for. I'm sorry. There's not. You can be happy. You can be happy with him each game as it goes. But when you step back at the end of the year, you're going to look back and go, "Sorry, dude, that's not enough."
Honestly,
but it's not on you. It's on.
Oh yeah, no. That's been the argument all along. It's not on Chris Russell. It's not on
Larson. It's not on Russell. It's not on Mikko. It's not on anybody.
Strome. It's not on Spooner. This is the GM that has brought them all in and made them try and answer for sins that they never committed.
Again, going back 45 days after feeling like Ryan Strome is not good enough to be an Edmonton Oiler, he's trying to move Ryan Spooner out. It doesn't make sense. Spooner is at 3.1 because New York, for some reason, was gracious enough to withhold some salary. Still got another year on him, and he is producing zero.
Was he going to be just a toss in and nothing else, or was it like a toss in, but then we want so and so back?
I don't know, man. It's just got to be a toss in at this point. Free up cap space because there is so much dead weight on this roster that I just don't understand how you can continue on the way it is without trimming some of that. You've got a third line, grit, intensity line, identity line, whatever the fuck you want to call it today. That's like getting paid $10 million ballpark, producing zero. Although I did like Cass up on the first line. I thought he had that pass to Connor on that little area pass against Arizona.
And Chris would like you to give him credit because he was the one that called that.
I did see you going back.
In February of 2018, I tweeted that. Yes. So don't forget that ever.
Twice. He tweeted about it twice in 2 days.
Last thing I want to mention on Manning is I saw people talking about how he was enemy number one. He came back. We've also been through the situation with Zach Kassian.
Yep.
Do you guys see any comparables? To me, I don't, because by the time Kassian was brought in, Gagne was already gone. So they didn't play together. So it was kind of like, yeah, I'm mad at you, but all right, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, the other guy's gone now, so it's not that big of a deal.
Chris, thoughts?
I think Manning does have an opportunity to impress me. I don't know about you guys and other Oiler fans, and kind of change my thoughts on him. The same way Zach Kassian came in here. I know Gagne wasn't on the team at the time, but Kassian came in and people were very hesitant on his history and the way he played. But Kassian did a great job earning our love. The playoffs helped him when he potted a couple big goals and had a couple big fights. But I think if Manning plays kind of like that dirty side, just like acts a little bit crazy. Like I think back when Kassian leveled that whoever from behind, turned around,
Olivia Ekman-Larsson,
whipped off both his gloves and just like was ready to fight.
If Manning came in there and knocked him out,
if
Manning kind of
straight chop right to the,
if Manning plays a little on the edge and just like does a couple crazy things, just entertainment wise, he fights every few games. Like I think, and all he needs is an opportunity for someone to even like touch Connor, and he jumps in there and fights him. I think that's a good start.
That would be a good start. I just my concern is he's just not good enough of a actual player.
Yeah.
Where Kassian has always had some skill.
There's
maybe
some upside to Kassian.
There's some upside to Kassian. He's got some hands. As we saw that pass, Leon with a ridiculous pass up to Kassian. He feathers it over perfectly, an area pass to Connor. Those are some hands that he's got that got him drafted in the first round. I'm just concerned that Manning isn't good enough. That's it.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, and how many minutes did Manning play? Manning's
averaging right now 13-19 with the Oilers.
And there you go. If you play, I mean, Kassian's probably was around that same time, but if you're only playing 13 minutes a game, you don't have many opportunities to show off.
I think to your point too, Chris, I think playoffs have a way of erasing a lot of sins of previous times. I think Lucic is a good example of that, where people kind of forget how slow he is in his off games when he has a good playoff run.
And a bad playoff run, you got a very quality player shipped out of town.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah. For a guy that one step later, you can't just include in a fucking trade.
Yep. Wow. And the best part about that, talking about Spooner, obviously, is that he got traded or acquired right before Hitch came in. And you know damned well that Ryan Strome is a better Hitchcock player than Ryan Spooner, who's barely playing right now.
How is Hitch not sitting there like yelling at anybody who wants to listen outside of Pete? Now watching this, now we know why Gretzky's always loaded.
Yeah. I mean,
he's around the team more. That causes me to drink. He's around way more than I am. No wonder he can't do an 11 a.m. presser because he's had a couple already.
Amen. Casually coasting through the day, enjoying yourself, living your best life, Wayne.
Are you saying were you saying why isn't Hitch giving anyone else pressure like in the organization?
Why isn't he yelling at anybody?
Oh well,
with
he's
a
not
white collar.
He's not ruffling any feathers. He just wants to.
He has to be sitting there going, guys, this is ridiculous. He's not trying to say it, but he's saying it in pressers now.
Yeah,
like we're doing everything we can. Like, guys, this is not a playoff roster.
Yeah,
like we got 3 big guys up front, and after that, nada.
Yeah, just like the other day when he sent Nuge, McDavid, Draisaitl off practice early. They're like, all right, you guys have done enough.
Everyone else, stay here.
But Hitch did
you motherfuckers are here with me, and we're going to run drills all day. Go ahead, Dan.
At the end of the game, the last game, Hitch did give credit to the new acquisitions of Manning and Petrovic.
And he will. He's very good at that stuff.
No, exactly.
But after a couple losses, when he's not spitting sunshine up everyone's ass, you're going to get more of the truth.
Yeah.
And he's biting his tongue.
I
think damn well this team's not where it should be.
If you can't win with... Well, I love the people... I'm going to step back. I love the people that blame McClellan for things. You bring in one of the winningest coaches of all time, and he can't squeeze more than, 2-3 goals a game out of his roster without holding it back. Like, they're going full trap sometimes because they have to.
Because they have to. It's exactly right. And this is one person and one person only has signed off every year on this. And that's Pete. He's got to go.
Gotta go. I agree. Thanks to our friends at Get Sauced. GetSauced.com for hooking us up with the second half hour of the podcast. I've missed them. Get Sauced. I need you guys to send me some stuff. I was looking at my fridge the other day. Chris, I made some nugs. I was looking for some delicious sauce options.
You made some nugs?
Yeah.
Like just frozen nugs?
No.
Homemade nugs?
Homemade nugs. Wow. We did the breading, the old double breading.
What part of the chicken did you use?
Oh, we were using we used some breast. We went to the store, got some nice chicken breasts.
Okay. Cut up the breast.
Did the whole thing, cut them up into little chunks.
Get some boneless, skinless chicken thighs too if you want.
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. A little bit of fat content in there. That'd be delightful. Anyway,
okay.
I need some sauce. I got no sauce.
I like seeing everybody who got guest sauce for Christmas presents.
Was there the pictures coming in?
Yeah, I didn't get any from my family. Cough, cough.
They ruined it.
But lots of other people did, so that's great. I'm happy for them.
Shout out to Get Sauced. If you want to check out all their options, go see them at 9620 58th Avenue here in Edmonton, Alberta, or check them out, getsauce.com. If you want to use the old phone machine, 780-462-2418. Again, that's 780-462-2418. Boys, we talked a lot about secondary scoring here so far, so I want to dive right into it. This morning I did a What Would You Do Wednesday, Friday edition, talking about how could you squeeze more offense out of what we currently have, or do you have to go outside of the organization? And this stat just was jarring. So far this season on, where are we? January 4th, 2019, the Oilers have 114 goals scored. 59 of those have come from Connor, Leon, or Nuge, which equals 52% of the total offense. If you add in Alex Chiasson 16 goals, then you've got 66% of the goals coming from 4 players.
It's very funny. You got to laugh at that.
Yeah? If it wasn't so infuriating, it would almost be impressive.
Royals, maybe you can laugh.
What do you guys think about like when you see those numbers? 66% of the offense has been produced by 4 players. What does that mean?
Well, for a team that's had its offense based around Connor McDavid since he started here, it's not surprising. He's been factored in around 40 to 50% of the goals himself since he's come to the Oilers via the draft. So that's not entirely surprising. And the fact that we just throw in Drake Caggiula, our top 5 scorer, into a trade this past weekend, that's also not surprising. So it's the team that, and it's the method to the madness that is Peter Chiarelli, the team that he's created, and here we are.
The frustrating thing is, I think whatever team Connor plays for, he's going to score 20 to 30, 40% of the goals. Maybe not 40, that's lots.
No, you look at like the other players. What does Sid do, or what was Sid doing in the first couple of years? What was, look at some comparables there. I think he's
but like
probably fair there, but
yeah.
You're exactly right, though.
But the problem here is that Nuge, Draisaitl, and McDavid are not any of Pietrelli's players that he brought in.
Well, in my argument during one of my many rants this holiday season was that every team has a couple players that stir the drink. That's just the case. Of
course.
The Tampa Bay Lightning, who are undefeated since November, have Kucherov and Stamkos. That if you take them off the team, sure. That team is.
You still got Braden Point. You've still got,
and that's exactly
Victor Hedman. You've still got
the team is not as good. It's not as great. It's probably not as dominant, but they're still a playoff team because they have the guys that can cover up for those issues. We lose Alex Chiasson, and nobody scores a goal other than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl, and Connor.
Also in the same article, Dan, to further that point, the last 8 goals the Oilers have scored have been from those 3 players. Yeah. That goes back 3 games.
Yeah.
Looking at the stats page, 6 of the top 7 scorers on this team were here before Peter Chiarelli got here. And I'm counting Connor in that because he didn't do shit to get him. I could have gone up and drafted Connor. Yeah. There was no skill there. So when you have 6 of your top 7 guys being here already, and then you look down the list at all the guys he's brought in, just dragging balls behind, it doesn't make sense.
Well, and then you look at the list that he's given away too.
Taylor Halls, you've got your Jordan Eberles, you've got now Drake, who is a depth scorer on a team that has none.
Well, and that's a frustrating thing too, because I don't think anybody around this table is like, man, this team is a Drake Caggiula away from a Stanley Cup playoff run. But here we are, and we're frustrated by the loss of a Drake Caggiula because this team has such poor winger depth.
This is where they put us.
So it's just, it's
because you need guys like Drake Caggiula that are making kind of that lower end money in a sense that are chipping in 10, 15 goals.
And can play 20 if you're lucky. Line.
And injuries always happen. Knock him up in the lineup. Like Chiasson's down. So then you see a guy like Drake getting a chance. But now you don't have that opportunity. And instead, you've got guys that have 0 goals being plugged into spots. Like, I was a big fan of the Tobias Reeder signing. Mm-hmm. I still like the guy as a player. But having him in your top 6 is an option with Nuge on one side and then Puljujärvi. And I'm a big Puljujärvi guy too, but I also think he should be in the AHL.
Yeah, we're hanging our hopes on 2 20-year-olds.
Peter Chiarelli decimated the depth up front and replaced it with third pairing defensemen. And that is a huge problem. It's like, remember during the Olympics back in the, say the 90s, where Petro-Canada had all those collector's cups for the Olympics and they had the little gold trim around them? Those are third pairing defensemen, and Chiarelli wants the whole set. He wants them all. He wants to put them in his china cabinet and look at them and be like, wow, these are useless, but I like to look at them.
Wait, you're not supposed to have those in your china cabinet? That's my whole china cabinet. It's all Petro-Canada glasses.
Do you think there's any combination, line combinations, anything that we currently have that can improve the secondary scoring?
I think consistency is a huge thing. I think that, and I know Hitchcock has just been grasping at straws to try and get any kind of offense he can throughout the lineup. But I still argue with a guy like Jesse, with a guy like even like Reeder, where when they get some chemistry with one of their centermen, that there's more there than trying to slide Reeder in for a game up on the second line and then back down to the fourth line. Yeah, or Ratty in for a game and then Ratty back down to the fourth line.
Kara, Nuge, and Puljujärvi was a great line. I don't know why they got
they never came back after the suspension.
Yeah, JJ got suspended for those 2 games, came back, but they didn't go back to that again, and I don't understand that.
I don't know if you keep playing the same guys who aren't scoring. I feel like it's driving on a flat tire and hoping it's going to get some air in it. I don't mind pumping some guys in, like put Zach up, but Zach's going to have 3 games up there.
Right.
So understand this. Come game 4, you're going to have to put somebody else there.
Yeah.
And that is where the coaches, their hands are tied. You can't just keep playing guys who aren't producing. Yeah. You're just driving on a flat tire. So
but no one's producing. So exactly. So we've been changing the lineups every 3 games for like 4 years straight. So I think that answers our question about our current.
I wonder why you have to do that.
Yeah. It's almost as if the coaches haven't been the problem the whole time.
But we won 9 games in 11 after Todd McClellan got fired. So wrong.
I also I love that argument too. And yes, I enjoyed that winning streak. Of course I did. I want the Oilers to be the best team they possibly can. However, you look deeper and you're like, oh, Koskinen's let in 1 goal
in like 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks, and you're like, oh shit, that's probably not going to go on. There was in that winning streak or winning run, I guess. There were 2 games where they won 1-0. 1-0 wins. You take those all day.
Yeah.
I did a booze cast after, and I had a good time doing it. Yeah. However, man, 1-0, you can't win in the NHL like that. You can't. But I want to end this off on a positive, Chris.
Please do.
All 3 of McDry and Nuge are on pace for career highs this year. Connor's on pace for 126. Leon's on pace for 103.
Hey, but Nuge is on pace. He's still overpaid, though. He's still overpaid.
Yeah, I love that. He's a 100-point player. The guy sucks. Oh, is he? Okay. Nuge is on pace for 75 points.
Who are you most happy for out of those 3 guys?
Nuge.
I think the fact that, and I mean, it's just cliche to go after Connor, or to be happy for Connor, but the fact that he's going to if he stays on pace, which he's heating up, arguably,
back half of the season, buddy, that's his go time.
But if he stays on pace,
last year,
if he stays on pace right now, he will shatter the glass ceiling of the recent top scorers in the NHL, which has been him. But he'll crush that. I can't remember the last time we had a player over 105 points.
You're gonna have to go back into the glory days for that.
Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton had 100.
Oh, just in the NHL in general.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I remember Sid getting 120 early on in his career, somewhere around there. Okay, Joe Thornton's been over 100.
He had 100 assists one year.
But that just makes it even more crazy that you've got your 3 best players, 126, 103, 75, and you're still 5 points out of a wild card spot.
We're a bubble team, if that.
5 points out of a wild card spot midway through the season, and people are saying this is good enough? Connor's career is a finite thing, and they're disrespecting it, and it pisses me off. Chris, I said I was going to end it off on a positive.
Yeah,
126 points for
Connor. I'm angry again. Wow.
126 points for Connor.
Now let's go get Leon in the All-Star game.
Yeah, we should get that's weird, man. I don't really care about the All-Star game at all. I think it's dumb. I get why they do it. It's for kids. It's for a schmoozing event. It's all the sponsors come out. Everybody has a good time, and
everyone gets paid.
I actually like the 3-on-3 tournament a lot better than what it used to be.
Oh, 3-on-3 is fantastic.
But at the same point, I love when guys get asked what they think about not making the All-Star game. They asked Marner, and he's like, yeah, I don't care. And then they asked Leon, he's like, oh, it would be a great honor. And blah. You don't mean that, Leon. Come on, man. You're telling me you wouldn't rather spend a week in Mexico with the boys or wherever it is that they go off to?
I think you got to go at least once. So you get that one time out of your way, then you're like, hey, I don't care if I ever go again, but you want to go. He wants to be there. He does. You don't want to see Connor, Leon, and Erik Karlsson play 3-on-3?
It'd be fantastic.
It'd be ridiculous.
I would like to see Erik Karlsson on the Edmonton Oilers.
That's not going to happen, Dan.
Yeah, that's
it's not going to happen because apparently we need to trade real players to get third pairing defensemen.
I don't think
he's
mean enough. I don't think he's mean enough.
Definitely not mean enough.
He's not mean enough.
And Chiarelli loves, if somebody pulled up the tweets, I wish I knew that guy's Twitter handle because it's hilarious. He pulled up all the times where Chiarelli has said over the last couple of years that it's not a sexy player.
Oh God, every trade, it's not a sexy move, but something we had to do.
See, now I wonder, is that a shout out to Oilers Nation because we're not going to be using pictures of Brandon Manning's abs? Is he worried that we're worried
he doesn't have any?
That he's not going to be sexy enough
for
us?
Tarp's off, buddy. Let's see what those things are. Let's see what's doing.
He's got them. We're posting them everywhere.
So are we challenging Chiarelli's claim that they're not sexy? Should we find some sexy Ryan Spooner photos?
I'm just waiting for him to trade Oscar Klefbom, who's arguably too sexy, for the corpse of Cal Clutterbuck because he's not sexy. That's what I'm waiting for. Too sexy for not sexy. That's just how it seems to go. I want to give another shout out to our friends at Get Sauced. Spice up your life. Improve the situation in your mouth. Your mouth feelings deserve it, Chris. They've got excellent sauces. They've got they've got rimmers. They've got all the things you need for your kitchen. Go check them out, getsauce.com. Give them a call, 780-462-2418. Or you want to email? I got that for you. sales@getsauce.com. sales@getsauce.com. Go check them out, 9620 58th Avenue, right here in Edmonton, Alberta.
We do a lot of giveaways for Get Sauce. I saw Get Sauce gave away a sample pack of sauces over the Christmas break on their social media.
I was talking to Dusty. Dusty will be back with Inside the Nation next week.
Yeah, Dusty does tons of giveaways on Inside the Nation on Facebook.
Check him out on our Facebook page every Monday and Thursday. He does the giveaways on Monday at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, so follow Get Sauced, watch Inside the Nation videos. There's tons of chances to win some sample packs from them.
Boys, we just wrapped up. Well, I guess it's not over, but Canada just wrapped up their World Juniors, and one of the craziest kind of ends to a game that I've seen in a while. The tying goal for Finland, lucky bounce, goes in the net. They go to OT. Old man Bouchard gets a breakaway in overtime.
Burst of speed there.
Oh man, the big man was moving. I have never seen a 35-year-old hustle like that for a loose puck.
Especially in the World Junior. Especially in the World Junior Cup.
Come on, I'm pretty sure Panarin did it too.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about is a couple of things. Obviously, Canada lost overtime. Weirdest sequence. Had a wide open net, broken stick, goes back the other way. Finland scores to end it. What I want to talk about is the people reacting on Comtois' Instagram page, just social media in general, to the point where his agent had to release a statement saying you're all fucking idiots, to paraphrase.
I wish that's what it said.
And that's what it should have said. Yes. So what I want to know is your guys' thoughts on, first of all, the reaction. And then secondly, that his agent had to come out and say something on his behalf. Dan, I'll start with you.
I, for one, am shocked that the internet got ugly.
I've
never seen this happen before in my life. No, I don't know. We live in a faceless world with the internet, and
is that a shot at me?
Yes, it is. Milk. That's your birth name.
Yes, it's on my birth certificate.
So I don't know. It sucks. It's 18-year-old kids. Like, get over yourself. I get being upset by something, but good Lord, they're out there representing the country. Have some sense about yourself. Just log off of Instagram if you're going to be that angry. Just don't even log in. But yeah,
of all those people that said anything, how many games have they watched of this kid play without the maple leaf on his chest? Would they even known who he is?
That's a great
Absolutely
point.
Not.
Great point. No is the answer.
So just shut the fuck up. Honestly, what did you lose out of it? Absolutely nothing. Keep watching the hockey. The hockey's great. It's not professional, so there's a lot of mistakes out there. Anything can happen, as we just saw what happened in the last bit. That's part of the fun of World Juniors. That's part of the fun of minor hockey. That's part of the fun of sports in general before it turned into a big business. You used to go back when we were kids. You could sit there and watch everything. You could be 4-27 in the year and you'd still think we'd have a chance for the playoffs. Why? Because this is my team and this is what I cheer for. We're taking this way too far. It's absolutely ridiculous.
To me, and wasn't there any part of these people that just watched what happened and be like, man, that is good sports right there? Take your allegiance to Canada out of it. You're a Canadian. Okay, fine. You're a hockey fan. I get that. But wasn't there any part of you that looked, man, like, wow, that was a crazy fucking ending to that game?
Man, I laughed. I laughed when they scored. I was like, this can't be happening right now. And my heart broke for those kids, but at the same time, it's like, wow, that's it. That's what the World Juniors are all about. Like a last minute game time goal in the quarterfinals. Like that's a classic World Junior moment. And then for the ending sequence, like that's hockey.
We're past the point where Canada is so dominant at the World Juniors that they're just going to roll through everybody. I remember the 2003 World Juniors where Crosby and the Getzlaffs and the Perrys were on that team. And it was like...
Is that 3 or 5? Might have been 5. It was in the lockout year.
Was it?
Yeah, because then Sid everybody's there. That team was ridiculous.
That team was ridiculous. And I remember them stomping through like 10-0 wins, 7-0 wins. And people are just like, what the fuck? Nobody's going to touch them. At some point, that's not fun to watch anymore.
Yep. It's not. We sit here and complain about women's hockey in the Olympics because Canada, USA, that's it. They shit on everybody else. Now we're at a point where there's actual competition out there. Things can go either way. And it was a couple bad breaks.
So that's actually, I don't want to get away from the Comtois thing, but now that you're speaking about it, the Team Canada has now medaled in just 3 of the past 7 years. So are we seeing Team Canada starting to fall from the...
No, we're seeing everybody else catch up.
Well, and that's what I was going to allude to that too, is that something that I did when this all happened was look back and saw... because there was a whole conversation when Canada beat Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark.
Denmark 14-0. That there was like a, why are we doing this to these kids kind of argument. And back in 2011, Canada beat Team Finland 8-1 in the World Juniors, crushed them. And here we are in 2019.
Dude, we lost to Kazakhstan. We lost to Kazakhstan in like 97 or something like that.
And then to further that point, Switzerland, who's now in the semis, lost to Finland in 1979 in the World Juniors 19-1. So it's I think we lose as Bag Milk said, we lose a little bit of kind of concept because Canada, we're so used to Canada being dominant in our sport, quote unquote, and so when Canada isn't dominating, there's a certain amount of emotion and pain there, but it's exciting for the sport to see a Finland come
either way. Don't go on the internet, don't try and tag people, don't start yelling stupid bullshit at them. If you don't say it to their face, don't say it on the internet. Done.
The thing is that, like, this sounds sad, but us saying this isn't going to help. No, like, it's great the agency came out and defended him, but that's not going to help.
Nothing's going to help.
It's getting worse every year, and like, it's not stopping.
Yeah.
And it's also, I think it's also a thing too for Comtois and any player that plays for Team Canada, and I'm sure it's part of their whole package when it comes to helping these players, is that they know how to deal with this stuff, and they know how to prepare them
since they're 7 years
old.
They know I've seen a lot of bad parents in Tier 4 novice hockey, let alone World Junior, like top of the line.
Yep. So I think they're Maxime Comtois is probably better prepared for this kind of treatment than anybody that would get this kind of barrage. And it's part of life now.
I think just to end this, I think Wheaton Oil, who actually I just found out, if you don't follow Wheaton Oil on Twitter, you should. He's a good follow for the fancy stats. But I just found out yesterday he's a doctor. He's a legitimate doctor that deals in psychological issues, and he did a thread about what you're doing to somebody when you are just taking shots at them blindly on the internet. If you haven't read that thread yet, it's about 10 tweets or so.
Yeah.
Go through and read it. It's well worth the read, because you're a fucking idiot. And just because you're upset that Canada lost doesn't give you the right to go shit on a 17-year-old kid who's probably living out his dream, in a sense, playing for Canada at the World Juniors.
Shit on the company that made the stick that exploded.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Finland, or whatever that stick producer was.
Finnish stick producer, yeah, Pekka, I think it is,
for sending a stick here, saying, "Hey, I heard you were using those Canadian."
They sent
sticks.
it to Noah Dobson.
Noah Dobson gets the free stick from Finland. That's a quality troll. That's a quality troll. Shout out to Finland. You're okay by me, Finland. I want to jump back to the Oilers now. We're midway through the year. Tomorrow's game against Los Angeles, which is my game in the Lucic goal draft, by the way. We'll cover that in a second. I just want to know real quick, halfway through, where were you right? Where were you wrong? Chris, I'm going to start with you. Looking at the Oilers, where were you right? Where were you wrong?
From our preseason predictions?
Yeah.
I'd say I nailed Nuge, Draisaitl, McDavid, but I think that's an easy prediction for everyone. Like, they are, like, Nuge and Draisaitl are having great. Nuge is having a great bounce back year, or I guess a progression year. Same with Draisaitl, and obviously Connor's Connor. Where I was wrong. Peter Trelli is making us even more upset. You know what? Yeah, I'll go with that route. I was expecting Trelli to make it up to us and to do better, and I've been wrong there. And he's just pissed us off even more.
Damn.
And like, just when you think he can't piss us off even more, he goes and acquires Brandon Manning. Like, what's he going to do next?
Drake too.
Yeah.
I know, I don't really know what I was right on, if anything. But I do know I was wrong on. I thought Jujhar Khaira was due for a bigger year than he's had so far. I'm not saying that he's had a bad year. I think he's had a
good year.
I'm not saying he's had a bad year,
especially the last month's been good.
But I thought he was gonna really propel himself into a huge role this year. Maybe it's still coming. I also was very wrong about Cam Talbot. Just statistically, he hasn't had a great season so far.
And on that note too, I agree, and I think we were all wrong about Koskinen as well.
I don't think there's a person. I can't look back, just in my brain, and think of anybody that was like, you know what? I think Mikko Koskinen is going to be the starter by mid-December. You know, and there was a point where he was. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think it's still too small of a process to look at Koskinen as a win or a loss right now. I think he's definitely done better than we assumed he might.
Yeah.
Coming from the K and his contract is no movement, and other guys coming out for whatever. Definitely the three big ones up the middle. Oscar's played really well. GM still doing exactly what I expected him to do. Flat tire. The team, unfortunately, I thought would be a little bit better right now. Obviously, we're midway, so we still have a chance to get in there. I still think we still get in there in the top 3 of our division. Other than that, it's pretty much the kind of the way we expected.
For me, where I was right is I predicted a career high for Nuge, so he's on pace. He's making me look smart on that one, although I just love that kid. I've loved him for 7 years, Chris. I'm not going to stop now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. If you love someone for 7 years, I think it goes the rest of your lifetime, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And you know what? Just as an aside, somebody asked Low Tide the other day, what are some of his favorite Oilers players not named Gretzky or McDavid or whatever? And Nuge was on his list. And that just, you know what? When Low Tide says something like that, it always makes me happy. I was also right about Oscar Klefbom bouncing back. I mean, that was a safe bet now that he was healthy. Fuck, man. It sucks. He's got broken fingers from just an inadvertent shot to the hand. God damn, does that suck. I was way wrong. I said Lucic was going to score 20 goals this year.
Oh my God,
I remember
too.
this one. Yeah, for sure. I was low on Lucic, and
I only missed my total by 4 goals for the record.
I was way wrong on Lucic. I said he was going to score 20. I said Puljujarvi was going to score 22. Doesn't look like I'm going to get anywhere close on those unless Puljujarvi goes on a heater on this back end. I was way wrong on Koskinen. Happy to admit it. I still don't like the idea of handing a no-move clause to an unproven UFA, but, it is what it is.
It's only a 1 year, so.
It's only 1 year, so I was way wrong on those, and I hate that I was right about Chiarelli. I hate that I was right that he should have been fired 18 months ago. Nice to see the media jumping on board, finally.
Slowly.
Slowly, they're getting there.
welcome to the train.
But I was right for a year and a half, and I don't like being right, especially in this instance. Anybody else got anything else you're thinking about? Right? Wrong?
Well, just kind of to touch on Koskinen, it's cool that Koskinen's going through a slump now. Actually, he played well last game, so
you went one bad period though. Really, that's all.
But now would just be a prime opportunity for Talbot to jump in and take that net back.
This is where I give Talbot 3 or 4 in a row. Okay, listen.
Yeah,
the hot streak's over. This is your team.
And if we make the playoffs, like if Koskinen plays bad for the rest of the year and we make the playoffs still, we owe him so much for those 10 games that he played.
I'm very happy to admit being wrong on that one.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes a blind squirrel finds a nut, and Chiarelli found one. So I'll give him credit for Koskinen. What can you do? Same with Chason. I'll give him credit for that. That was an excellent PTO, though I've heard through the grapevine that wasn't necessarily his idea to bring him in on the PTO. So maybe partial marks.
Not horribly surprised.
I want to end off this podcast. We are running a little bit long. Jared, enjoy editing and don't cut anything out, sucker. Lucic goal draft. We are now 13 games in, and he has got a whopping 0 up on the board since we started this.
He's making our record look as bad as his.
He is not making us look good. Rick, my friend, you have spent 6 of your 11 games. Your 7th comes up Sunday against Anaheim. He's not doing...
No, I feel good about Anaheim.
He's not coming through for you so far, pal. Chris, myself, and Dan have had 2 of our 11 games. Cam had his first on New Year's Eve. Cam was trying to crowbar in a half point, considering Lucic hit the post. We are not allowing any of that.
I think I got a primary assist on one of my games there.
I feel like you did. However, we changed the rules immediately before the draft. We might have, we might have to go into a tiebreaker here to see who wins this thing based on assists.
Yeah, go back and look at all the games. I had a post and an assist. I think
honestly, he was this. I know it's really bad. He was like 3 inches away from a good tip, and I think that tip was going to go in the net.
I was so certain the game against Tampa before Christmas. I'm like, this is the one. Tampa's going to be mailing in. They're going to be in vacation mode. This is the one. He didn't even get a shot on goal.
I was campaigning hard for him to get on the ice against the Coyotes when we were up 3-1.
After the first empty net goal.
People were real stressed out about that one.
That's when I thought he was going to get
I wanted him out there bad, and Hitchcock didn't even give him that one.
Looking ahead, the 4 of us outside of Rick have the bulk of our games coming in the last half. How are you feeling about the last half? Right now, he's on pace for 2 goals this season.
Oh, dear God.
2 goals.
So he's on pace for what he has right now. No, he has 1 goal.
He has 1 goal, 2 in the calendar year of 2018.
Oh.
I'm, as I said at the beginning of the season when I chose all the games in February, still looking forward to that month because that's the time he's going to shine.
Looking at the draft board itself, I've got a game. I've got tomorrow's game against Los Angeles. Rick has Sunday's game. Cam comes in with his second one against San Jose. I don't like his chances there. I got Florida, Dan's got Arizona, a couple of cams against Buffalo and Van. Dan's back against Calgary. So we finish out a lot of January. We're going to even this out. Rick, you've only got 2 games in January, my friend.
That's okay.
You've got Sunday against Anaheim, and you've got the 22nd against Detroit right before
I like that Anaheim game. It's going to be a big, heavy game. Big, heavy game. Big, heavy player.
Sure.
You gotta admire Rick's stick-to-itiveness.
Any of you, did you get a glimmer of hope in your heart with games coming up that when Lucic was temporarily, albeit for like 3.5 seconds, up with Nuge on the second line, where you're like, all right, here he goes. Let's do it.
He still doesn't like stand in front of the net yet. Like at this point, you just... Honestly, you two guys, other 2 forwards, you guys go in the corners the whole time. I am standing in front of this damn net. I'm not moving. Throw the puck to the net every single time. Even when he's there, his stick's not on the ice.
He's in his own
increase
head.
the size of your pants, shin pads, make yourself a little bit wider. Do anything, man.
It's a tough sled. There's been a couple points in games where you just feel like he's got a little extra step. And maybe it's coming.
Yeah, I've seen those a couple times.
But yeah, for the most part, I think it's coming down to, it's just going to be like, I think Rick said before the podcast, it's a lottery ball at this point. It's going to go off his shin pad.
Get him a Ryan Smith flat blade.
That's goal number 2.
Yeah, get him that stick.
Get him Leon's stick. That big old paddle of his is deflecting shots all over the place.
Man, anything.
So like Connor should give him his stick for the
1-0.
game. Just like use this. It's got some good luck to it.
Or like Connor rubs all his sticks up against his body or something.
Yeah.
I played with a guy in junior B, Chris, who when he was looking for a goal, he used to stick his stick in the trash can. So he was like, it's garbage goal time.
Okay.
I'm in.
There you go.
Hey, Luch, maybe you just stick your sticks in the trash can, pal.
He's not going to score anymore, and then he's going to have like a Pisani type playoffs.
Could you imagine?
Yes,
oh man,
he
finishes the regular season with 2 goals and goes on a ripping heater. 14 goals in the playoffs on the way to the finals.
Before we sign off, let's head to Twitter. We got a couple quick questions. I just want to answer one. Thanks to everyone who sent us their questions. Malignant Manny asked, who do you guys think will be gone by the trade deadline? And then he talks about Lucic. So go around the room. If there's one player that's gone by trade deadline, who do you think it is?
It's gonna be one of those bottom level defensemen or like a Spooner. Really,
so you don't think a big trade is?
If I'm gonna say first round draft pick, then he's not a player, but
fair.
That's the only thing you can move without putting a huge hole in this team to try and increase it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say something. He's gonna be doing more tinkering, or at least attempting to tinker, in the sense that he's just burning the edges of the sheet of paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and say a guy like Matt Benning, you're gone. Matt Benning, you're gone.
Because Petrovic's here, maybe.
I think it's been said before that when Sekera comes back, we have to make a deal now. And I think that when Sekera comes back, you're going to see, probably a defenseman like Matt Benning go out the door. And I believe that he'll deal Spooner for something lesser than what Spooner is.
I'm going to disagree, Dan, because I don't think he's going to find somebody to get out of his mistakes like Chicago did with him.
I was just going to say, Chicago believed that they couldn't do it with Manning. We just have to find another Chiarelli.
So I think Chiarelli is going to sell the farm, do what he can to make playoffs, because that's his primary goal right now. He knows he's gone if they don't make playoffs. And Elliot Friedman hinted last week.
Don't even say it. I already know what you're saying.
Jesse Pugliarvi.
I'm turning off your.
I think
you're going Jesse Pugliarvi as your guy to go.
I don't want him gone. I didn't say I want him gone, but I will not be surprised if Pugliarvi is involved if a move is there. I would not be surprised if he's.
Chris's microphone has been turned off.
Thank you.
It's over for him.
Good.
God, I hate this team. I hate them.
Yeah,
I love them, but I hate them.
Terrifying.
Are there any other questions that
we answered a couple. RCR Dad 10 asked about New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
Sherwood Ford inquired about the Ford Escorts.
Hey, that's on you for Sherwood Ford.
Yeah, what are they inquiring about? Like what colors?
Just checking in.
Hey, color don't matter.
Do we want 4 doors or 2 doors?
Hey, that don't matter to me either. Although,
fair.
you know what? 4-door would be nice. Frank needs a space to ride in the back.
I gotcha.
It might be
You know what I
nice
mean?
to have an option though for people to kind of check out, like Nation Dan's driving a 4-door and Bag Milk's riding the 2-door. That's
Well, I think we can put like some sort of our own little decals on there.
Oh
too.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. You got to
Our own,
customize.
maybe like a name bar.
At
I
the
would
end of the
say-
season, We're throwing crash helmets on and we're smashing into each other.
Oh,
They all have to have a painting on them that if you park them in a row, the painting just continues on down the line.
Or I'll take that a step
skating.
further. The painting is something that you've done yourself to personalize the car.
Oh, that sounds like a horrendous stick drawing on the side of mine.
Hey.
You're going to think that a caveman was, but
I like the challenge.
Every picture tells a story, Dan.
well, hey, Sherwood Ford, you've heard it here first.
Speaking of Sherwood Ford, Will Cole Ford, it's his last name, Cole Ford. Anyways, he asked if there's a.
Man,
I was confused. I thought that was an inside
Do you
joke or
think
something.
there's a problem that the prospects that we bring up from Bakersfield has had a hard time transitioning to the NHL play?
Yeah, the problem is that they're not ready.
They're not ready. They're playing over their heads.
The problem is that you can call up Puljujarvi and Yamamoto all you want, but they shouldn't be here.
I don't mind the Yamo call up because it's just an injury stint. And that's fine. And when it's back, if he's not doing well, go back, whatever. You got a little taste of it. Have fun in the Bakersfield the rest of the year. The Puljujarvi one, a little too pie in the sky. I get the coach wants to throw some sunshine at us and say, I'll fix them. Let me give them to me. But they're above their heads.
Even Hitch, though, like if you asked him and he was being candid about it, he would say neither of those guys should be here. They just don't have the depth to make the proper choice.
Yep.
They don't have the options.
I think we need to call up Ryan Malone. Brad Malone. Jeez.
Oh, you don't even know his
That's
name.
real bad. That's real bad. I looked at
Unbelievable.
Twitter. Saw
Unbelievable.
Ryan.
Dan doesn't know your name, Brad
Shout
Malone,
out to
and he's
the-
been pumping your tires for a long time. It turns out he doesn't even know your name.
Did you guys know that this is the anniversary of something that happened in Oilers history?
I did know that. I saw it on Twitter.
How many years?
That's a great question.
What's the date?
It was in the 90s.
January.
Was it in the
4th.
90s? No, it
No
wasn't.
way it was in the
no,
90s.
it wasn't
Stefan?
in the 90s.
Yeah. Stefan wasn't. Oh, maybe the early 2000s.
Early.
Oh, it might be like a 99 goal. This is the empty netter.
The
Yeah,
Dallas
yeah.
Stars missed empty net.
Patrick Stefan, you should be ashamed of yourself.
The way that goal came back, though, I remember watching that.
Yeah, man. Al Shamsky, still a free agent. Bring him back.
Bring him in.
Don't really. I miss you, Alish, but
Sorry.
sorry. Anyway, that's it for episode 18 of Oilers Nation Radio. We want to thank our friends at Sherwood Ford. We want to thank our friends at Get Sauced. And we want to wish you a very happy new year from all of us sitting around the table and Cam, who could be laying dead in a ditch somewhere.
Shout out
Deep in
Damien.
the desert.
Shout out to Damien. Have a great day.